Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and a special welcome to Mr. Lewis. How the devil are you? Where's my P51? Right, okay, so trying a couple of new things. So if, for example, you find any of the sound levels are a bit pants, please do let me know. This is very much a training flight, so I've had a stick extension. So I've got a 15 centimeter extension to my stick, and funnily enough, I've not had it in any of the warbirds, or actually even in the MD500, but I am having to learn to fly the H145 again, and I'm not sure if it's a combination of settings or whatever it is, but yeah, it's not quite gelling the way it used to. So this is very much a training flight, and using the excellent Aerosoft Random and Anywhere mod, which is free for the HPG H145 with the action expansion pack. It's all good. We don't know where we're going to go. We could end up in the mountains. We could end up further up the coast. That is the interesting thing. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict it. So let's close the doors. And close that one as well. So just bear with me while I get a few things set up. I need to check. There we go. Let's just center that. Right. Okay. So hopefully in this one, hopefully for you guys, I'm not going to be doing a huge amount of talking, because as I say, I need to get some things. I need to get my together, as they say. Right, so let's come back to here. Map submissions. Let's get that set up. Clickety-click. Random and everywhere. And then we'll have a look down here. There we go. So this is the latest version, 0.9954, that's on the on flightsim.to at the moment. Lewis. Right, okay, so what do we got here? Yep, so it's saying it's not connected. We do that down here. So I think I've got to have the battery on first to do that. Which kind of makes sense. Let's get some lights on while we're doing it. Something I have noticed while I was setting up, by the way, is that the sim is behaving quite strangely. So we'll see how it goes. For example, it's been dropping in and out of connection. Okay, so here we go. Just waiting for that to come through, and then we can connect. Once that comes up, it should give us a prompt. There we go. Push to connect. Okay. Let's have a quick look at the chat. No, Platty, they don't seem to be. I've got the latest version. Actually, that... No. Rotors are still on that. I've got the latest version, so I'm not sure if it's something that's come in, but yeah, they're definitely not rotating. Evening, guy. Yeah, hovering bonanzas. I have asked the RAF regiment to shoot down any hovering bonanzas. Here's our chat coming over with the GPU, but I don't think we're going to be using it. Okay, so we've not got a mission up yet, but very quickly, this is our page here that's going to, once that becomes light blue, then we can accept it. But what I will do in the meantime...
Hey, good morning all. Ready for the missions?
There we go. This is the guys turning up. You see the crew walking out. So we'll just let them get on board.
Good morning, Frank.
Hey, Frank. Good morning.
Hey, Frank. Who Frank is. I think Frank is the ground guy. I think it's that fella there who's
Hi, Captain. Helicopter is ready to fly. Logbook filled and signed.
He's obviously heard about
If
my
you need
flying
refueling,
skills
please ask.
because he's got the fire extinguisher. Right, so we're going to accept
Thank
that
you, Frank.
dispatch.
Cabin
I'll check.
preparation. Please wait.
And let's get the engine started. So I will first of all put prime.
Preparing for engine, starting
Ready
sequence
to
1,
supply
2.
external power at your request.
Our co-pilot will jump out at this point. Sorry, just reading the chat. Let's recenter the old head tracking. What is that actually? I'm not quite sure what it's doing. It keeps slewing over.
Area
Okay,
clear.
there he is.
Ready to start engine 1.
Okay, I thought he was going to give us a prompt then, but maybe I missed it. Interesting. I have just lost all sound. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. What an amateur. Does this come out?
GPU disconnected. Ready to go. Good day.
Engine started successfully. Moving to other engine.
Okay, I've lost all in-game sound. You can see it's on there. Okay. there
Engine
we go.
clear.
Cabin preparation complete.
Oh, the rotors are turning now. Excellent. Oh, that's because my engine's running. That's obviously what it's waiting for. Okay. Yeah, I have got no sound at all, but I can see it on the... See, the desktop audio is working. So, bear with me. Say it every time. If something weird is gonna go wrong, it's always gonna happen on a live stream. Yeah, I can see the desktop audio thing. I can see that that's getting signal, but for some reason my headphones have gone dead. I'm not quite sure why. That's all plugged in. I think the term is what a dick. I must have knocked my volume switch. Amateur. Right, can we get back to where we were, please? We seem to have an H145 hovering in front of us. Right, so we fired up engine 1, let's fire up engine 2. Have a look at the T's and P's. So T rising, N1 rising. Co-pilot outside there. Now I haven't
All
set,
engines started successfully.
I haven't set the distance on this one, so for this first one we could have quite a long flight.
Hold on. Performing leak checks.
Okay, let's get everything else up and running. So we'll have transfer pumps on, prime pumps off, avionics on, DC seat on, and we'll have that, and we'll have that. There we go. And there it is, moving again. Good God, we've got a Chinook. Thank you, Lewis.
all good.
Good to say hello and have a bit of bounce. Enjoy your evening, old chap. Right, he's back in. That's all good to go. That's all good to go. That's all good to go. Let's have engines up to flight. Come on, hit the fixed spot.
TOS system test OK.
Get into hover mode. Let's have you there. Let's have you there. Okay. So we've accepted everything. That's all good to go. Happy with that. And there's our map. It's giving us the go-ahead to fly now. We're not going to be using the GTNs, but I'll get those up and running. So that's all good. What have we got down here? EPU connected. We don't need that. Is that a matey boy? Okay. See if we can disconnect that. That must be a new thing. Coming up there. Disconnect. Do it from there. Like that. And so what we've got? We've got 2 injured, 48 years male, 60 years female, responsive and unconscious after multiple injured. Car collision while overtaking a fire engine. Crew arrived on the location. Symptoms, no info received. So if you haven't seen this mod before, that will change as time goes on. The amount of time I'm faffing about, I'll be lucky if they're still alive. Right, so this is where I need to shut up and fly. Should be glad to know. So trim release on. Yeah, let me just get going and then I'll start yakking. Where's the wind? I don't want to ruin anyone else's flight, so you shoot over here. So you can probably tell that what's happening is the
VY.
it feels a little bit like flying the helicopter by stirring a big bowl of porridge. And I don't know if it's muscle memory, I don't know if it's I need to change my settings, but I'm finding that certainly when I first jump into it, I am kind of wallowing around quite a bit. Weather is absolute pants. This is live weather. If it gets too bad, then we'll just go on to wind weather. But I like to fly live weather when I can, just to add a bit of realism. There's not too much in the way of wind, so that's not too much of an issue. But as you can see, the viz isn't particularly good. For this first job, it hasn't sent us into the
Don't
mountains.
sink.
Look at everything. It's looking okay. I'm just going to hand fly it a bit just to try and get that feel for it. Obviously, the thing about the H145 is it's a very modern helicopter. It's got all these stability systems and autopilot systems to enable you to fly in pretty awful conditions. So they're there for a reason. Just turning on the synthetic display just to give slightly better situation awareness in this horrible weather. It's pretty much taking us to the top of Anglesey there. just, I will just momentarily remember which button it is. There we go. Onto autopilot. Let's have a look outside. I think we've got our H145, and I can hear. Is that the Chinook? I think that's the Chinook. Yeah, H145 the Chinook. That Chinook has got a gorgeous sound. Really is quite beautiful. So anyway, how are we all doing in the chat? How is everyone this evening? Just knock it off autopilot. I hope you are all well.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Now that's something that...
Terrain ahead. 500.
Just remember to knock that off when we land.
Another friendly. Good to have you with us.
Fire engine. Confirmed on scene.
Daryl, welcome to the channel. Good to have you on board. Yeah, this really is murky Burks, isn't it? I'm just going to close the tablet there. It's glaring on the windshield. Just drop altitude a little bit so we can get in sight of the ground.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Right, so let's grab it. It's a little bit risky.
Terrain ahead.
There we go.
Terrain ahead.
Deliberately pointing it at the ground. The trigger.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Let's do the sensible
Terrain
thing.
ahead. Pull up. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Oh, every time I say to myself at the start of the flight, turn it off. Getting a little bit close to that.
Obstacle ahead. Pull up. Obstacle.
Right, so we're coming up now on the location, so let's just pop that open again. See what we can see.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Do they actually work, Platty? I know it's got them, but up till now it's not actually, apart from the animation, it's not wiped.
Rear crew.
But does it actually wipe the water now? What have we got? We can find a good landing site. I think just there.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
God,
Terrain
this
ahead.
is going to end badly.
Too low. Terrain. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Too low. Terrain ahead. Too low. Terrain.
Let's just get control of the situation. Get sight of the ground. Oh, okay, Platty. I thought you meant that the new version, the wipers actually worked. I misunderstood you.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
Biffed by something there.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Too low
Well,
terrain.
Gotta say, it's
Too
an
low terrain.
absolute sod to fly right now. I'm not sure if that's the weather or my controls needing adjusting. Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to do something with my controls. Very little control over it, as you can probably tell. Let's just get it down.
We are reasonably close.
You bet you are, sunshine. You're getting out now. Right, let's have a look.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operation.
Right, so what's going to happen now is they're all going to jump out. There they go. Just waiting for his mate. There's his mate. And then they're going to walk over all the way over there. Good God, there's two Chinooks. We got backup boys. Love it. He just close it down. Now obviously you wouldn't leave everything on because you drain the battery, so I realise that's not particularly realistic. Right, let's have a quick look at these controls. Where on earth have I left them? Come on, work. Okay. I'm going to turn these down a little bit. See how that feels. It's just taking a little bit of it's making it slightly less controlled by the computer, if that makes sense. It's the best way I could describe it right now. And see how that feels. Okay. Right, let's jump outside. Now you can hear the Chinooks. Look at that. The heavy duty boys are in. Lovely sound. Here's our accident. Sounding too good. So the boys are working on him at the moment. This is all, if you don't know about this add-on, what it is doing is, you know, simulating as realistically as possible and you can change the times. It's simulating what's happening with the, you know, all the different phases of the pickup. Oh, that sound. Oh, why is it gone quiet? Close to the Chinook. Better the further away you are from it. There we go. That is lovely. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, it's still kicking off here. I just find it amazing. This mod, Andrew, Davierosoft, who make it. This is free. This is a free mod that adds so much to it because we literally don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're going to face. It truly gives you that sense of, you know, every day is a different day. They're working on the other one now. And there's so many variables. So, for example, we might not be tasked to take the patient to hospital. We might be tasked to take one patient to hospital. The less injured patient might go via the ambulance. Sometimes you might be just delivering a emergency doctor for the accident, and then they'll go with the patient in the ambulance. So there's always different things going on, which is what makes it quite interesting. This weather really is pants. I'm tempted to leave it as it is because it does adds to it, doesn't it? I mean, why not? If you're trying to learn to refly a helicopter again, you're having challenges with your controls, why not fly in really bad weather? Why not? Idiot. And that's how we end up landing on a bungalow. Let's just hop back in. Have a look at things. So it's saying doctor assigned codes for casualties. Code 2 for the first assessed casualty, code 0. From memory, code 0 is pretty bad. Code 2 is not looking good. Code 3 is the not quite so bad one from memory. Okay, so ground crew we can see are bringing them back. Again, for the realism chaps, I know you wouldn't sit here with the battery and everything on. I just had it on because I was trying to set a few things up. Also, something I've never tested actually is if you do turn the battery off completely, does it cancel the mission? I don't know, maybe we can try that in a bit. See how it goes. Right, where's the chaps? So Matey Boy's coming back, and he's coming back to get the stretcher now. Just out of interest. Yeah, so if I was feeling a bit braver and I was flying it like what I used to, I probably would have tried to land here actually, just to get a bit closer. We are really at a distance from the casualty site here over here. So there he is, he's just getting the stretcher now. This repaint, by the way, this helicopter actually exists up at RAF Valley. It's used to train military rescue and advanced flying training and that sort of thing. It's called a Jupiter H1 they call them? HT1. what they call them. But it's rather nice, and it's a repaint by, I think it's Demo Designs. I'll put a link in the video down below if you want to get it, but it's all there. It's a really nice repaint, and it's got this lovely 202 Squadron badge on it. Now, I've only ever sat in 2 helicopters. One was a British Airways Sea King, and the other one was a 202 Sea King up at Lossiemouth. So it's nice to fly that that squadron badge, even if it is in virtual space. Let's not get too deep. So yeah, we just have to sit here and wait. Which code is slightly Gray's knee? It's a very good question, Lewis. Very good question. Unfortunately, I'm not fully medically trained, so I couldn't tell you. I believe it's why the did you phone an air ambulance for a Gray's knee? That's when the Chinook boys come down. Those Chinooks have actually got a couple of special forces teams in there, just for the people who call us out for a Gray's knee. That's how it works. So looking over here, if I just pop that on, so battery is 24, so we can see that has gone down a little bit. Just wait for the boys to come. Okay, choose destination. So I will accept. You can. It's quite clever. Just very briefly, it's quite clever in that it's designed so that if you want to dump the patient here nearby, you can do. It gives you that flexibility so that you're not traveling miles if that's not what you want to do. So we're going to Colwyn Bay Community Hospital. Okay, so that's a fair old lick. Traveling across the sea as well, which could be rather interesting given the visibility and the fact that the sea in weather like this is very similar colour to everything else. So yeah, we need to be careful of that. Code brown, exactly. I phoned because I heard famous YouTuber was going. Oh, Lewis fella, you don't disappoint, lad. You don't disappoint. At least you haven't got any bloody wizards with you. Time for a swig of tea. Where are the lads? Sorry, I realise I'm bobbing my head around a lot here. Right, here we go. So let's just move that. Pop outside. And then we can watch them coming back in. There we go. So that's our crew coming back with a lovely soundtrack of that Chinook in the background. A new wizard build. What are you working on, Lewis? Now listen, this better be code name for the new P-51. I'll stop talking about it. In case you don't know, Lewis in the chat is Mr. A to A. And even though he's still not done the P-51, he's a good friend. Right.
Cabin secured. Ready to fly.
Okay. Let's just pop up to the top and let's prime pumps on.
Preparing for engine, starting sequence 1-2.
1-2. Buckle my shoe. And other things. Right, where's he gone? There he is. Well done, lad. Let's get going. Got a patient here.
Area clear. Ready to start engine 1.
Rising. Everything looking good.
Engine started successfully. Moving to other
Marvellous.
engine.
Let's get the other one done, matey.
Engine clear.
2 starting.
All engines started successfully.
Well, how spiffing. Okay, so let's just get back up here.
Hold on. Performing leak checks.
Alright, Sunshine, you do what you need to do. Get some lights on. Let's wait for the co-pilot to get back in before we go up to flight on the selector. You coming or what?
Okay, all good.
Thank you, my erstwhile companion. Are you ready to go? Yeah. He loves my flying, this boy. Okay, quick look down here. Rotor RPM will go out once everything winds up. Now this is interesting. We've got a... Oh no, it's gone out. That's good. Don't like any red lights. Okay. Let's get sorted. See if she flies any better.
Wow, nice touch, Captain.
Let's not get carried away. Yeah, you know, it's again, it feels like there's a delay. It's the only way I can describe it. There's a delay between my inputs and the controls, so I'm not quite sure what the answer is. Something I need to have a fiddle with. Well, that was a sudden kick.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull
I
up.
meant to switch that off, didn't I?
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Go!
VY.
Terrain
Oh.
ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Okay, it's not letting me cancel that for some reason. Might have done it now. Okay. Yeah, so I still need to figure out what's going on with the controls there, because that was the same thing again. It's almost like there's a long delay between the stick inputs and the what the helicopter's doing. So almost constantly having to chase it. So I've just put it onto autopilot for the time being. It's quite blustery, I guess. There's the wind at the moment. 8 knots, 13 knots, 14 knots, 13, 12. to turn that down a bit more? See what that does. Adjust our heading a little bit. So yeah, as you can see, flying over the sea, we can see nothing at all. Oh yeah, let's have a look and see if the windscreen wipers are doing anything. Where's the thing? Trying to remember where they are. Here we go. No. They still don't make a difference. But for immersion, I will leave them on. So there we got 19.7 nautical miles to Colwyn Bay. Definitely need to figure out those settings. That's frustrating to say the least. And I know I'm pretty sure it's not HPG. I think it's just something to do with the fact that I've got the extension on the stick now, which you would think would give you finer control. Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking out loud here. And it seems to be limited to the H145. Taking up the MD500 actually was how you'd expect it. I actually felt like I had more control over it. So, yeah. You know so well, Lewis. What I might do is when we drop this patient off, I might come out of the missions and just do some flying. Head into the mountains. See if I can get these controls zeroed in. What's the time? 7:45. See if I can get these controls zeroed in. Try and figure that out. Something has got to be done, that's for sure. Really looking forward to getting the action pack for the H160 actually. It should be good fun. Something a bit bigger. How's everything looking? All good? Time for another slurp of tea. As it stands at the moment with this weather, it's definitely not a sightseeing stream. But don't worry, we will change that. I realise that for you watching, this probably isn't the most exciting views you've ever had. But I don't know, I think, you know, it's always interesting flying with live weather. It does kind of keep you on your toes. It can sometimes give you some really interesting lighting, some really interesting views. Not today. It's funny actually, I've kind of been sitting on the ground this afternoon while I was working, and the cloud wasn't quite so low, and it was actually it was kind of patchy, and there was some interesting lighting, but this is absolute full-on blur. It's a scientific meteorological term, of course. Absolute pants. But this is what this helicopter's great at. It's got a, you know, I think it's one of the things to understand is that it's not the Alouette, it's not the Llama, it's not the old Russian helicopters in DCS. It's a very modern, it's an Airbus. It's a very modern helicopter, modern avionics, great for doing work like this because it's so safe, so automated. It takes some of the workload off the pilot, so you can fly in terrible weather like this. And makes the job easier. Try working out what percentage of your actual stick length the extension is and reduce your axis responses. Okay. So my try and work out what percentage of your actual stick length. Excuse me while I look between my legs. Well, I would say with combined shaft and grip, it's probably just over 50%, I would have thought. So I've got curves set up, which are around about 50. I've got curves in MSFS controls. But it's, I think we need to clear the weather, and then I'll get a better idea of what's going on with it. But I know that before the exactly before I had the extension, it was a lot easier to control, and I don't know how much of that. I don't know if that's due to the new version of the 145, but there's something playing about, and it just baffles me that I'm not seeing it in the MD500. I'm not seeing that same problem. Oh, we've got another H145 over there. So we're coming up to land. There's Colwyn Bay over there. Absolute zero sighting of the land at the moment. So I'm just getting ready to sort things out. Hoping we're going to see the land soon. I just want to see the land. That's all. It's a shame because it's actually quite interesting scenery around here. But we're not seeing any of it. It's great having that synthetic vision.
Patient life signs are fading.
Yeah, don't worry, we're nearly there. Yeah, I mean you can see, we cannot see a damn thing. Come back a bit on the speed, I think. I'm just using the autopilot to bring us back a bit. nothing at all. Oh, there we go. Okay, I can see ground now. See, we're getting buffeted around a bit as well. So let's disengage autopilot. Jesus Christ. Could really do with seeing some... Yeah, no. Oh, there we go. Big hill.
500.
I've got to say, trying to fly in this visibility when the helicopter's not responding how I'm used to is interesting, to say the least. It's beyond murky. It's actually bloody stupid. You'd think we'd be doing this in real life. Yeah, we'll definitely be turning the weather off from live when we land. This is crazy. But thank God for that synthetic vision. Come round here. Just remember that's called the
2
Bryn.
nautical miles from hospital.
Avoid that. Come back round. Okay, this is all going horribly wrong. Okay. Let's stop buggering around and let's put it on to wimp weather. Woohoo! Look at that! I'm almost emotional. Okay. Take it off autopilot. So this is Colwyn Bay.
Rear crew, we are approaching the landing site.
Let's try and... So that's where we're going. Oh, nasty pause. There we go. Let's turn that windscreen wiper off.
$500.
See how it's just wallowing around. See if we can find where we're going in. Down there somewhere. Well, I do not see. Okay, just putting it into autopilot hover mode. Let's see. So we should just be over it now.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operation.
Cheers, Bussy. Have fun. Come on, you're meant
Wow,
to be
nice touch, Captain.
meant to be an auto hover. Okay. Let's get this guy out. So, trying to think this through. Why is it so wobbly?
Helicopter in position. Rear crew, clear to start operation.
So they're going to jump out now. Take the fella out. Okay, so let's have a look. Time is 8 o'clock. So I think what we're going to do is I will close off the missions for the time being anyway. And then we'll fly to fly into Snowdonia anyway.
Patient has been deployed to the hospital. He is safe.
Excellent. We have saved a life, chaps. Yeah, okay, we'll head to Tryfan. I know that there's some interesting places there to try and land. Right, skip the paperwork. Again, it even simulates the guy going in and doing the paperwork, so we can skip that. And then he will get back in, and then we could do some flying. Yeah, so the flying is jittery
Cabin
for you, is it,
secured. Ready to
Chris,
fly.
or is it the because my FPS was dropping a little bit there as well. Right, so we're going to end the mission. There we go. Submit the report, and then we're going to come out of that and let's just do some flying. Okay, so yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting as well, Chris. Now I know in the past, so I'm using trim release to overcome that, and normally when you hold the trim release you have more control over it, so I don't know, that might be the problem that you're having. If you're not holding on trim release, you will be fighting the helicopter. So like for example, if I activate my trim release, there we go, you see that TR in the tablet, but that's not the problem I'm having. Okay, so let's apply a bit of power and see what it does. It's drifting to the right. Let's correct that. Yeah, again, it's a little bit better. Having to almost think. It's hard to describe it, really. Definitely feels like there's a disconnect between the controls and the helicopter. Let's just get the what we can do is oh no, it's this one. We can actually visualize the controls. So let's head into the mountains anyway. Wow, that's interesting. Once you get to a certain speed, it kind of kicks. Somewhere between 30 and 40 knots, it suddenly gets some yaw kicking. This is much nicer, isn't it? You actually got some scenery to look at. But yeah, that Random Anywhere really is an amazing mod. I love it to bits. You can spend hours just running different missions, and you never quite know what you're gonna hit. There's no hovering bonanzas at the moment. A couple of typhoons on standby. Oh dear. By the way, I should say we have a Discord. We talk about aeroplanes, helicopters. There's even a photography section now. Model making section as well. We have group flights, but you can post screenshots, talk about aeroplanes, all that sort of stuff. There's also a community help section because we're lucky we've got some very clever people. So you can always ask questions, and there's usually someone that knows what they're talking about, but it's never me, funnily enough. But well worth coming along to. So what I'm trying to do is just get some stability, get the autopilot on, and then I'll type it in the chat. There we go. So the link is now in the chat, or will be any second. Streamlabs has caught up with it. Let's disconnect. There it is. Yeah, look forward to seeing you there. Good bunch of people. Mixture of all ages, experiences, and all that sort of thing. And it's really a community about people who like aviation and flight simming, rather than being a community about a YouTube channel, that's for sure. Which is probably a good thing, because it'd be really boring otherwise. Beautiful scenery. I do love how Aki season has recently changed the trees and everything, so it is more spring-like. Spring has sprung. Let's have a look at the outside. You can hear them. Oh, Chinook. concentrate on the flying boy. Okay. Let's get rid of that for the moment.
500.
Try and get the feel for things. I wonder if I've overdone the damping down the sensitivity. Hello. Perhaps. Yeah, it's a beautiful area, isn't it, Dan? In my younger days, I spent a bit of time here. Climbed Triffin a few times, camped halfway up it at the place we're going to go to, actually. But it's, I think that's the great thing about places like Llandudno and Colwyn Bay. The mountains are pretty close. I think what I'm going to do is let's put it down. See there, very easily went into that bank, and then almost having to like control. It does feel like there's quite a delay. Whereas it used to feel very precise, it now feels like my stick is literally in a big vat of porridge, and somewhere in the porridge is a connection to the sim. If it wasn't for the trim release, I'd think I was fighting the helicopter stability system. See, like at this point here, see how it's just kind of wallowing around. I can just get us on the ground. I'm going to try something. We need to find that sweet spot. Okay. Let's have a look. Control options. Da 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 da. There we go. Sensitivity. Let's bring that. Sorry, this is really exciting for you, this bit, I know, but let's give that a try. I quite often feel with the great thing about the H145 is that they're constantly improving it and changing things. And it does mean that sometimes they'll do a change and you've got to learn to change it. Right, let's see what that does. I can't see anything else in there that's going to potentially cause an issue. So let's give it a try. Oh, look at that Chinook doing a fancy pants thing. Very nice. Okay, how are we all looking? Just checking that. Yeah, okay. Right, let's see what happens now. So I'm taking off at an odd angle, so I'm not expecting it to be nice and smooth, because we just kind of dumped it here. Okay, that feels a little bit better. Well, that feels a lot better. Yeah, that feels a lot better. You know what? I wonder if I don't need curves. Let's try it with curves for a bit. I keep it there at 25, but that feels like I feel like I've got a bit more control over it now. I'm not stirring a vat of porridge. It's more like a bowl of Alpen. Ah, there's that kick again. Same speed between 30 and 40. Sudden kick to the left. I wonder what that's about. I'll have to pop over to their Discord and see if anyone else is seeing it. Never noticed that before. And so we crest the ridge. It's lovely here, isn't it? So I think it's wind
500.
Yeah. That is Triffin up ahead. Just on the nose. It looks a little bit like, always reminded me of a Brazil nut. And there's two big stones on the top called Adam and Eve. And you're meant to jump between the two as a test of your stamina and guts. There it is. See what I mean about the kind of Brazil nut shape? And there is the little lake. That's Llyn down there. Is it Llyn? Yeah, Llyn. And I thought I was doing some more murdering of the Welsh language. And that's the little lake there. And we camped just on the edge of that. And interestingly, since I loaded in the Orbex mesh, that's a lot more bumpy than it was the last time I was here. So let's just bring it round. I've got the trim release on again, just so that I've got more control. Interesting. Really wanting to bank to the right. Could be I need to do something with my trim with my pedals. So let's have a closer look. I just want to have a closer look at that lake, and then we'll see if we can't set her down. Kicked again then. Yeah, look at the speed. Between 30 and 40 and it kicks again. So, some control. So yeah, it feels like I've got more control than I had before, but it's still not great. So I think I'm going to land it and actually take all the curves out and see if that helps. We've overshot, so let's come back round again. There's
500.
There's that kick again, same spot. There's something that's translating. Something in the flight model in this latest version where between 30 and 40 knots it
500.
gives a kick. Come back round. I never thought I'd see the day where the MD500 was easier to fly than the H145, but that's where it's at the moment. It's definitely
500.
There's that kick again. It's definitely down to my controls. And let's just bring it in sideways. just on a slope there, so not great. Right. So that felt better. That felt a lot better. So let's just quickly go into controls. It's interesting, isn't it? I'm sure I saw somewhere something about if you've got a stick extension that you need to put curves in. But maybe you don't. See, I don't research the numbers. I tend to just try and feel it out a bit. Okay, let's see how that goes. So again, we're on an edge here, so the takeoff is going to be pretty ropey. It's more the hover I'm interested in once we get up there. Oh, you beauty. That's what the problem was. That's what the problem was. Curves. So I'm still using the trim release, and that's given me the control. But you might be able to tell by the way the aircraft is behaving that I've got a lot more control over it than I had before. A lot more control. When I'm moving the stick, it actually feels like I'm doing something. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm no longer stirring porridge. I'm no longer stirring Alpen. I now feel like I've got a direct connection with the helicopter. What a wonderful feeling it is. Good God. It's one of those low-flying Airbuses. Right. The best way I can describe it, Chris, is if you have a look in the manual. I'm trying to remember what it is now. So I've got a Warthog stick, and the little pinky lever I have set up as my trim release. You can also set up a button so it's latched, but I like to use the pinky lever. But it's a control that you need to set up in your controls. But you can, I think. Is it on the? I've never tried to. Okay. Right. I don't know if you can see this, Chris, but if you go to your autopilot page, you've got manual. Is that going to do anything? Yeah. So you've got manual trim release there. So that will do a similar thing, but you've got to keep clicking on it. If you do that, it'll give you a lot more control. There we go. Yeah, I took out the curves. So I had some curves in there because I got this stick extension. I thought it was something that I needed, but they were actually making life a lot harder. So I've taken the curves out. Oh, blimey. Okay. It's interesting behaviour. I've taken the curves out, and I've got a lot more control over it. Which is, I guess, makes a lot of sense. I guess it just goes to show if you've got a stick extension, you don't necessarily need the curves. So what I'm doing at the moment is just trying to feel it out a bit. I think because of the mountains, we're probably getting maybe a bit of turbulence, perhaps, which is
500.
blowing us around a bit, but I've definitely got more control. I'm having to move the stick a lot. You can probably see in the center console you've got that flight controls. You can see how much I'm moving the stick around.
500.
And that's with the trim release in. If I take the trim release off, then the helicopter is trimming itself, and it's beautifully stable. But for landing, taking off, for any kind of manoeuvring, it's a lot easier to have trim release on. Brilliant, you got it, Chris. But the scenery here is just absolutely breathtaking, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. It's almost without the trim release, it's almost impossible to do kind of manoeuvring and hover taxiing and that sort of thing, because you are always fighting the computer. Right, what's the time? Where should we go?
500.
Where shall we go?
500.
Or shall we do a mission? Quite sure how it will work, but let's give it a go. Let's go back to missions. Let's keep an eye on the bleeding bridge. Turbulence there. Come on, get the click spot. Okay, let's there we go. Random and everywhere, We're already connected on the box
V-pass.
down here, so we don't need to worry about that, because we did that at the beginning. So we'll just let that all set up now. Yeah, that's the best thing to do, Chris. It makes a massive difference. So literally, as I say, with my pinky switch when I'm manoeuvring, I can very easily just kind of hold it in while I'm flying. Okay, look at that. The vista that is Snowdonia. So we're just waiting for our mission to come in now. It's interesting, we just going to trim it a little bit. There we go. Give it some trim. Jump outside a second. Here we go. So we have got
Cabin preparation.
That's a different one. Pinky swear. No, so not. No, I don't blame you. So I can't really show you orbital, but if you Google now, if you Google Warthog stick, you'll see in the front there's like a lever, and it's kind of like you just use your little finger to operate it. Right, let's go.
Cabin preparation complete.
Okay, I think we might have got a failure then, but let's give it
Patient
a try.
location is far away. Ambulance crew on scene may transport patient to the meeting point proposed on tablet. Please confirm if we want to meet midway.
Okay.
VY.
Yeah, so we've got an error coming up. Possibly because I've buggered it about and started in the air, but we'll see what happens. So we'll stick her onto autopilot. We're quite high. carrots and beans. Let's descend. .8 miles. So we're going to meet the ambulance basically. Again, it's quite clever. This is what it'll do. It will, you know, again, it's all about throwing different things at you. So instead of going straight to the accident site, they're going to bundle the patient into the ambulance, come towards us, we'll go towards the ambulance, and then we'll meet and we'll do a pickup. I'll tell you what, I'm glad I've sorted out that sensitivity thing. That was, I won't lie, that was absolutely doing my head in. It's so frustrating when you don't feel you've got control of the aircraft. And in a helicopter, obviously, you need to have absolute control. Spend more time here. Do most of my HEMSing up in the Highlands, but it's nice down here, and the Lake District as well. That's another area. Need to maybe the next HEMS random and anywhere will have to be the Lake District. I'm just using the controls on my joystick just to adjust the altitude. If we go in a bit closer, Lewis, I know you love a helicopter, mate. I know that secretly at night think about flying helicopters. I know you do. Scenery is still looking rather splendid. Oh, lovely. Look at that. Nice. It's I know I said it before, but it is great now that we're getting some green on the trees. It looks so much nicer. That would be quite something, wouldn't it? An air ambulance P-51. Something I've noticed is I'm sure before when you adjusted the altitude on the autopilot, if you went outside of the
500.
visible ribbon, it would give you an indication somewhere. Maybe that's it. No, that's not it. It would give you a visible indication somewhere of what altitude you got selected, but I'm not seeing that where I used to see it, so I need to have a look at that. Okay, let's take it off autopilot. There we go. Get control back. Lewis, you know very well
I set a possible hospital destination for our patient.
that is
Info
not
available
the
on
same
tablet.
thing.
We can confirm or change later.
I'm honestly amazed that no one has actually done. I suppose when I say anyone, I actually mean Flying Iron. Flying Iron haven't done a P51. It's the one thing, actually no, there's two things that I miss about P3D, and that's the T6 and the P51.
500.
But I uninstalled P3D a long time ago because I just couldn't. The world, now that we've got some good add-on aircraft, the world is a little bit pants compared to this. I get in trouble with some people for saying that. Oh, the Jet Corsair. I did read somewhere the next Flying Iron Warbird in MSF SFSMN is going to be the Focke-Wulf. Yeah, but see, the problem is Orbital. Like I said, there's a reason why I don't fly in P3D with the amazing P6 and P51 there. So I definitely wouldn't go into FG. Is it flight gear? I can't remember.
2 nautical miles from loading area.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to pull me away from this beautiful world, I'm afraid. Okay, let's see. This is going to be the real test now. How nice are these controls? They feel okay at the moment. I've got to say, they feel okay at the moment. Definitely feel like I've got more control. Yeah, we've got a 222B as well. Airwolf is with us. Hey Tom, good to see you. Right, come on, where are you? Starting to, oh blimey, let's watch on that.
Rear crew, we are approaching the landing site.
Yeah, it definitely feels better than it did before. It's still a little bit wishy-washy, but it's a lot closer to how it used to feel. There you go, Lewis, just for you, mate. See, I knew you liked helicopters. Oh, blimey. That H145 is determined to smack into my windscreen. Right, I'm looking
Site is safe for operations. We can proceed.
Excellent. All those verbals, by the way, that's coming from the mod. It's a huge amount of detail in it. So let's have a look. I'm guessing it's this field here. Isn't that one over there? Trying to match up the map with what I'm seeing on the ground. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, we'll set it down here. Control, please. Still having to fight it a little bit. Come away and do that again. Okay, that was better. That was better.
Ambulance is still far away.
Well, that's not what we want to hear. Let's see if I can see him on there. Who's there? Wow, he has got a long way to go, doesn't he? Oh, arrive within 9 minutes. Wow. So what should we do for 9 minutes? Do.
We have to stop engines and switch off the helicopter.
That's what we're doing. Tell dad jokes. Love it. Oh, a few pauses there. There we go. Back again. Right. Battery off. Hopefully this isn't going to crash the mission. No, we've still got the tablet. Tablet can run on battery. So we're all tickety-boo there. Do you know what? That's a good idea. I wish I did have a snack. I've actually got my dinner downstairs. Waiting for me. So, interesting. Definitely much better control taking out the curves. There's just something else that just needs a bit of fine-tuning. Although, having said that, when I did the second landing, it felt a little bit. I have to think with the helicopter, it's almost a bit like meditation. You have to focus so much on those tiny inputs. And you just have to kind of get in that zone. It's one of the reasons I like helicopter flying. is that you just kind of have to get into that zone, and it's very easy to get broken from it and for everything to go pear-shaped. Look at the hills up there. Let's open the door and get some fresh air. Isn't it lovely? Let's pop outside. There's the ambulance. 6 minutes 36 seconds. I love the sound of that Chinook. Bad joke. I got fired from the bank today. A woman asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her. Oh dear. Look at that. What a lovely little scene. Airwolf, 2 H145s and a Chinook. Let's go and have a look at Airwolf. That's the Cow and Sim 222B. It's actually a lovely helicopter. I've not flown it in ages. It's just a bit light on the systems, but it's lovely to fly, and it's probably one of the prettiest helicopters there is. That Chinook sound. Gorgeous, isn't it? Oh, sorry. I should read out the joke, shouldn't I? If you can't see the chat, it's a bit pointless. It's another one from Soul of Noctum. My dog ate a whole bag of Scrabble tiles. I took him to the vet. No word yet. That tickled my fancy. Who in the chat, by the way, likes flying helicopters? And if so, what are you flying? Don't be shy. Let us know. I'm genuinely very interested to know. I love the H145 and I love the Llama. The Chinook's good fun as well. It's quite let's take off this head tracking. Yeah, love the Chinook. It's nice and easy to fly and good fun. Is that another Chinook? Let's do a ping check. Look at that. So we got Cami in the B222. We've got Tay Betum in a Chinook. We got Kilo Mike in the 145. We got Monty, and we've got Jinx. The Chinook Force are here in full. How wonderful. Orbital. I don't know, if you break it into shorter messages, mate, you might be able to get it through. Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can... Well, that's a bit silly that it stopped you putting that. It's not exactly a long one, is it? Remember to change that. I think it's got a thing on it to stop long messages. Maybe you've done another one there as well. What's it doing that? So Orbital wrote, I don't know if you guys can see it, I enjoy flying helis. I fly a range from EC135 Lynx, MD902, Chinook, Merlin Seeking, Bell 206, Bell 430. And you need to try the Squirrel soon. So yeah, there's quite a mixture there. I haven't flown the Squidrel in ages. I've got the Cow and Sim H125, and the last might need to have a look at it. Let's get back in the cockpit. Where is this ambulance? It's 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Poor patient in the back is wondering what the hell's going on. But anyway, we're saving our battery. It's such a shame you can't hear the Chinooks from inside the cockpit. Such a shame. It's rather splendid, isn't it? A flock of Chinooks. Oh, that message came through Orbital. I'm getting a message saying it's Streamlabs. It's saying please refrain sending long messages. For some reason, it's playing up. Right, Chris, just having a look. Let's just lock off that so you don't get sick from my head bobbing around. Oh my God. And I thought that bonanzas were bad enough. Chris, I feel sorry for you, mate. I do feel sorry for you. That's making my eyes water. By the way, if there is anyone that was on the Discord, I'll do it again while we're sitting here. I'll get the right screen up. If anyone's just joined, there we go. I've just popped it in the chat. That is the link to the Discord. Come along and say hello, and you can see exactly what Chris is looking at. Okay, I don't think that was seconds. I think I presume that's saying 6 minutes now. It's just getting a bit closer. In hindsight, I wish I'd selected to go to the actual landing spot. It is Orbital, and it's thanks to people like you that make it like that, because it's the community that make it so interesting and give it so much life, and the banter and the humour and the help and all that kind of stuff. It's down to people like you. So thank you to you guys. It's painful seeing that ambulance, isn't it? Just chuntering along. The last time this happened to me, I think it was actually on a stream. The distance to the, we kind of didn't have to wait quite so long. The distance to the ambulance was a lot closer. But on this one, it's a little bit longer. But then that's the beauty of it. Again, the whole point of this mod is to try and add a bit of realism to it. So, you know, we are literally here as you would in real life, waiting for this kind of rendezvous. It's not like a quick jump in, play for 20 minutes and jump out kind of thing. Yeah. I've got a new one actually. Get the right hand. No, that one. That's the good old Mark 1. I don't know if you can see it. Turning around. Sorry, it's the Mark 2A. It's P7350 from the Battle of Britain Memorial flight. I used to have a previous print of it, and then when I was up there a couple of weeks ago doing the video for the authenticate controls, they very kindly gave me an updated one. Lewis, do you want to do my PR, mate? Do you fancy that? Because you're very supportive, I have to say. Very supportive. But it would be nice to have a P-51. 51. 51. That's all I'm going to say. Where's this ambulance? Come on! Actually, do you know what we can do? Let's jump outside. We should be able to see it at some point. So it's just whistling down over here. So if we... I do press the wrong button. It's going to come from over here somewhere. Let's keep an eye out for the blue lights. It's a shame that I know the guys that are have joined. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see any of the mission assets. Alpha, good to see you in the M500 there. Hasn't happened to me yet, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it did, because it does all sorts of... If you do it for long enough, you can literally do this for hours. If you do it for long enough, it will throw all sorts of funny things at you. I've had a patient die. I've had twice now. I've been told by the EMTs that I need to land as quickly as possible so that they can do CPR. It does all sorts of things. Come on, ambulance. He's taking his time, isn't he? He is taking his time. So where's he going to come from? Over there? Yeah, he's coming from over there, isn't he? Come on. Leave the wizards alone. P51s and T6s are what we need. Come on, Mr. Ambulance, where is you? He's just up the road. Should be able to see him. So I've completely got my bearings wrong. Or maybe it's an LOD thing. Maybe he's just not popped in. You usually see... Oh, there he is. Yeah, it's LOD. Lord. Here's the ambulance. Hopping along. Got his blues and twos on. Hang a left, fella. That's it. This way. Hang a left. About bloody time. The Royal Air Force does not like to be kept waiting. Now, I'd be interested to see what hospital we're going to go to. But at least we're getting there now. Good to see the Chinooks are still there. Or at least one of them is. I know I can say it because he's posted it in the Discord. But Ginex XDCS up there is working on a very tasty links for MSFS. And some of our members have been helping, I guess, do beta testing on it. And it looks rather lovely, but you'd have to join the Discord to have a look at that. Here we go. Here's the ambulance. The guys in the back need to wake up now. Oh, steady on. Steady on, sunshine. When you're ready. There we go. There we go. So the crews are going to meet up. They'll transfer over, and then we can get going. So what I'm going to do now to save a bit of time is let's power up. Leave the lights on. Switch those off. So that's already selected. And let's just let them load him in before we start turning this into the biggest hairdryer in the village. Thanks, lads. You took your time.
Patient on board. Take care.
Okay, let's go. So we'll get the prime pumps on.
Preparing for engine. Starting sequence 1-2.
We've got our lights on.
Stretcher is secure.
Cabin
Cabin secured.
engaged.
Ready to fly.
Still looking okay. Acknowledge those. There he is, going out. Thank you, co-pilot.
Area clear. Ready to start engine 1.
It's very useful. He's not really very appreciative of my flying, but he's quite useful when it comes to this sort of thing. Okay, good start.
Engine started
1.
successfully. Moving to other engine.
Move to other engine, please. Must remember to turn
Engine clear.
Turn the tools off. Engine 2. Tools inhibit. And we'll do the same for the other one once we get sparked up.
All engines started successfully.
So good. Okay, let's go back up and we'll have transfer pumps on, prime pumps off.
Hold on. Performing leak checks.
Yeah, do your leak checks, mate, and get back in. Veto heat on, everything else is fine, all the lights are on. That's all good to go. Accept selection.
Okay, all good.
Well, the hospital is quite a way away. I kind of wish we can do something here. Go to an orthopedic hospital, change hospital. See what we've got. Say, because I need to get home. Get home so I can have my dinner. I think there's a hospital at Bangor, I'm sure there is. Get the click spot. Yeah, accept destination. There we go. So we've got an issue there now. HEMS Operations Centre not connected. Check radio connection on interseat console. I think that is just potentially unbuggered it. Yeah. So changing the. Let's see what happens now. Fingers crossed we get it back. But I think changing the destination there, even though you can do it, See, the assets are still there, but I think potentially I've just messed it up. Hospital distance 15, so it's on there. It's on there. Let's open it on the map. There it is. But it's the route is not coming up in there, so we're going to fly there anyway. Let's go. Oh. The H145. Come on, let's take the engines out of idle, you absolute pillock.
TOS system test okay.
Okay, let's go. This is going to be a bit tricky.
Wow, nice touch, Captain.
FPS is taking a hammering by something there. So yeah, oh, there's that kick again. Yeah.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Between 30
Pull
and
up.
40.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Oh, you cheeky monkey, come back.
VY.
Go for that. Right. Yeah, so I think by me changing the hospital destination there, okay, I think it's taken the magenta line off the map, but it might still be active. So we'll see. We will see.
$500.
Lucas, that'll be a mixture of sounds from the H145, but also the random and anywhere mod. So a bit of strange bit of turbulence then. Yeah, so hopefully it won't take us too long to get to Bangor Hospital. What I've got to do is try and find it now. If you look in the, I don't know if it shows at the moment, but in the video notes, Lucas, I put a link to it. But if you go onto flightsim.to and search HEMS random and anywhere, you'll find it there. And then all you do is need the H145, the HPG H145, and you need the action pack expansion, and then the mods just adds some more realism and kind of adds what we're doing here really, which is literally just random missions. We don't know where we're going to end up, and it's quite a cool way of experiencing it. He's all right, Lewis. Don't you worry yourself. He's having a whale of a time. In fact, let's lock off the head tracking. What we can actually do is there we go. So you can see there the patient has got emergency code 2, which means immediate risk of serious injury. It's got it's got patient conditions life score of 44, so between 0 and 100. Obviously 0 means you're brown bread, 100 means what are you doing in my helicopter, there's nothing wrong with you. So they're 44, and that will change as things go on. Potentially the patient can deteriorate. So that's where we are with there. So it kind of still feels like everything's working. I'm interested to see once we get closer to Bangor if I get more of an indication that you would normally get in terms of you know, getting close to the hospital site. You know, will everything unload when we get there? Right, let's concentrate on flying instead of waffling. Well, the FPS is absolutely dropped off for some reason. Something I have noticed that actually in Microsoft Flight Simulator recently is the longer that you fly in it, I mean, that's awful. You can see almost count the frames. It's like the longer that you fly in it, the worse that gets. Which makes flying helicopters a little bit difficult because you need best frame rate you can get, really. But not quite sure what's causing that, although we have been flying for
500.
just over 2 hours. Just glad I fixed the controls. That was absolutely doing my nothing. Right now feels nice and stable. If I put the trim release in, it's not no, it's not bucking around like an idiot. So I think I've cured the problem by taking the curves out, and maybe I just need to do some fine tuning in the sensitivity settings on the tablet. FPS really does.
2 nautical miles from hospital.
Aha! That's good. That's a good sign. Yeah, the FPS really is stinking right now. So basically we've got no magenta line, but everything else seems to be working okay, so I'm fairly confident we'll be able to drop off. And the mission will complete, so starting to slow things down a bit. Looking for an obvious landing pad. Again, it's the beauty of this flight sim, because it's using photo scenery. quite often the helipad at the hospitals is
Rear crew, we are approaching the
kind of
landing
there
site.
baked into the sim. Sometimes it isn't, sometimes it is. You take with the rough with the smooth. Sing around a little bit. Where is our landing pad? There it is. There it is. Look at that. You can see the hospital crew there. The FPS is not making life easy. Oh, got the other H145 has done a sneaky run in. Thank you. Let's get control again. Ooh. Okay, now it's getting a bit. Yeah, let's do that again. So the last minute then, it all went, you know what. Let's come in again. Let's just practice. Yeah, right at the last minute then, it almost went back to the way it was at the beginning and had a life of its own. But I've got the trim release in. The FPS really is horrible. It's not helping. Trying to fly when it's doing a PowerPoint slideshow is almost impossible. Yeah. No. I'm going to have to do that again. I wonder what is killing the FPS so much. Must be on about 10 frames a second. Okay. This is awful. Not good at all. Yeah, we're going to try that again.
Prepare for ground operation.
Ugh.
Wow, nice touch, Captain. What?
Nice touch, you're having a laugh. That was horrible. That was horrible. Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder what caused the FPS to absolutely tank. I don't think I've ever quite seen it as bad as that.
Helicopter in position. Rear
Range.
crew, clear to start operation.
Right, so they're all going to jump out now. Well, we're sort of on the landing pad. There they are, doing the transfer. Was absolutely killing the FPS. Yeah, that was causing a big problem.
Cabin secured. Ready to fly.
That's good. So, yeah, that actually worked. We've safely dropped off a patient and everything is tickety-boo. Right, well, I am going to leave it there. And go and eat something. And food for thought. So, at least I've cured to a certain extent, the helicopter controls issue. I think the reason why it was so tough just then, it felt more like it was the FPS that was making it hard to control. Because the time before when we landed in the field to meet the hospital, that felt nice and smooth, kind of how I remembered it. Maybe that was the FPS issue, but I mean, you can see if I jump out, I mean, that's pretty awful still. Still pretty awful. Maybe because the sim has been running for so long. I don't know, maybe it's something else. You can see now moving back just how dragging, you know, it's like it is a PowerPoint presentation, isn't it? Interesting. Oh well. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure having you along for this very experimental journey, trying to fix a few things. It's great to have another go with Random and Anywhere and have a play with that, and that's working beautifully. The interaction with the co-pilot, all that sort of thing, the crew, that's working absolutely spot on. So really enjoyed that. But yeah, thanks to you guys for joining and having the patience to stick with it. Did you see a reward dad joke? Reward for transfer of patient dad joke. I am not sure if my wife is satisfied with my body. A small part of me says yes. I'm loving the dad jokes tonight. They make up for the frustration at other things not working. But yeah, anyway, thank you to everyone for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure having you along. And remember I'll put it in there again, just in case. There we go. Just put a link to the Discord in there. If you missed a bit before, it's a great community. It's not a Discord all about YouTube channel. It's a Discord about people who love aviation. They love helicopters. They love warbirds. There's a photography section now. There's a model kit making area as well. Really good bunch of people. Group flights, post screenshots, talk about aeroplanes and helicopters. Come along, click on that link, and we'll see you on the Discord. But otherwise, it has been a pleasure. Like I say, I feel like I've learned a lot tonight. I feel like there's a few things I need to take away to have a look at and see if I can just fine tune it a little bit, just to get that control set up. And also now the great mystery of the tank in FPS. What's that about? We'll find out. Anyway, good to see you, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye. I've just got to find the button now for stream ending. There it is.